What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another class of the 12 weeks of progression. It feels like I've not been here for a long time for some reason. Either way, I am happy and excited to be here again. We're gonna have some fun today because we are going to work on traces again. Yes, it is that time, traces. So we have already had a class on traces. And I do want to go back into it a little bit, or go over what we did a little bit to, I guess, warm up, get used to the trace again before we get into the new ideas, okay? Today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you first a warm up, just getting into the traces like we did before, play around together, because traces is really fun and there's a lot of different things that you can do to play around with them, right? And then after that, after we warmed up and we played around with it, we're gonna switch to giving you some ideas or some, you could say, little structures that you can use in your traces as either inspiration to find new ideas, to figure out new places that you can do traces, and just, I guess, use it in a more creative way. Before we actually worked on the traces in a very open way, I showed you the concept of it, right? How it works, how you can connect certain dots together, and so on and so on. And now I just want to dive a little bit deeper into finding your own, I guess, type of trace, your own way of tracing, because like I said, there's so many different ways, right? Like I said in the previous class, now we just did hand to body, but we also have, for instance, our elbow to whatever, right? We have our head or our face as a trace. We can trace with our knees. There's so many different things that you can do. So we're gonna explore that a little bit with about 3 different methods that you could use, that I use myself a lot. And hopefully you're just gonna have a lot of fun and gonna learn something new. So let's start with the beginning. We're gonna start with the trace, right? So if you forgot, the trace is about outlining the body with a certain part, right? Taking one body part and tracing alongside of another part is called a trace. However, there is some rules that make sure that the trace stays clean, stays visible, and stays real. Concept is a method, a way of telling a story, right? So now with a trace, the story is to outline the body, or to outline the body or trace alongside of the body. If we do not do that properly, and for instance, we hover above our body, it is still, we're still outlining the body, we're still tracing it, but it has less texture to it, and the story feels fake, right? If I do this, it feels fake, but if I'm here, now it actually feels, you can see the story, it makes sense. It is the actual thing, it's the actual trace, you know? So really important as we are taking the class or doing this class, please make sure that you always touch, always touch. Don't cheat anything, don't go over your arm, don't go, right? Touch. With whatever we do, we touch and connect, because the connection is going to create muscle memory, and the muscle memory is going to help you to create your own creativity within traces, okay? If you feel, your body will remember, and as it will remember, it becomes easier to build off of that feeling as opposed to the idea of what the technique should be. We don't have to think about the technique, we have to feel the technique, so that then in turn it becomes a part of our daily speech. Just like with talking, right? If we speak, we have our vocabulary, we have our grammar. We don't think about it the whole time when we are talking. If we have to think about every single thing that we say before we actually say it, it's gonna take a long time. So make sure that you feel the body, okay? Let's first start with outlining the body like we did in the previous class that we had on tracing, right? We go underneath the legs, we go around the crotch, and underneath the foot again, to the side, over the head, and do it again, okay? Get the feel for it, yeah? Go down, underneath, and over the head. One more time, just to get the feel for it, guys. Especially for you, if you haven't done it a lot of times, if this is not natural for you, it's definitely important to re-establish that connection. We're gonna switch, so we're gonna go over our chest, switch to the other side, and then come over the arm, okay? Yeah, re-establishing that connection, making sure that that feel becomes natural or becomes familiar to you is really important. So that's why we are doing this again, just to get that connection. At a certain point, I stopped doing this. You don't have to do this always. When the traces become more natural to you, you stop doing it. But for now, let's make sure that we go over it. I don't know if I did 3 times, and if I didn't, or if I did, then we'll do 4. I don't care. Let's go. Okay, there we go. Cool. So now let's use both hands for a moment to connect to the body. Okay, we're gonna swipe over our upper body like this. Okay, one hand, other hand, one hand, other, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the side, chest, chest, side. 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get comfortable with that, okay? Then we're gonna rotate. Boom, boom. Rotate over the chest. I hope, again, the mic is not really messing up too much and you hear too much sound of my hands sliding over my chest or tracing out my chest. So here we are getting familiar with the upper body and the movement that we can have on the body itself. So instead of outlining the side of the body only, we can also use the body itself, right? We can trace everywhere we want to, but you have to get familiar with that a little bit, right? So that's why we are doing this, to get that familiarity with our movements, okay? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna trace down. We're gonna trace up our arm, turn, trace down, up, turn, down, up the arm, turn on the body, and down, up the arm, turn on the body, and down, up, turn, and down, up, turn, and down, other side, up, turn, down, up, turn, down, up, turn, down, last one, up, turn, and down. Okay, so that is a circle that we can create using both our arms and the body. See that? Boom. See, so now I do it simultaneously. I do it without any stop in between, or simultaneously, one after another. That's what I meant. One after another, right? Oh, made a mistake. Up and turn and down, switch, boom. Yeah, there we go. Nice. See, no stops whatsoever. Other side. Good job. Now, we have another way, or we have a way to switch the turns, so what direction the turn is going into, without having to actually turn the other way. That sounds weird. What I mean by that is with creating, by using, my English guys today, by using a certain transition that helps you to seamlessly create that switch without having to stop and turn the other side, right? Instead of stopping here, we want to try to find a way to continue so that that trace is one thing, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to, I want you to think of having your having your hand in your pocket, but then keep it above. So we're going to focus on the pocket, right? And what I want you to do is I want you to create this little cup that's going to help with the technique that we're going to do right now. You have this cup, you have the other hand on the shoulder or on your chest. We're going to bring the hand to the cup, come in, and then this other hand, that is the cup, is going to slide, that cup is going to slide over, or a U, you can also say a U, it's going to slide over that arm, like so. From there, we're going to swipe from one to the other side. Now the cup is in the other hand. We're going to reach to the cup, bring the cup up to the arm, and slide it out. Cup, bring the arm up and out. Boom, bring it up and out. Now this you do at the same time, so you actually meet in the middle instead of going all the way down. You meet in the middle and out. Meet in the middle, out, meet in the middle, 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 there we go. Yes, you already see what's happening. Boom, boom, nice. So what's going to happen is, or what you can do with this, is that you can actually turn. You see that? You saw that turn that I did inside of it? So if I'm, for instance, okay, let's say we start at the lower part of my turn. I come up. Normally what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate and I'm going to go down, right? Now I'm going to come up. Instead of rotating, let me see. I'm saying that, but maybe, yeah, that's right. Boom, boom. Yes, okay, good. I just wanted to check just to be sure that I didn't give you the right technique, the wrong technique. I'm coming up. Now I'm going to make that cup and go inside. So up, cup, inside. You see that? From there, I can rotate, and guess what? I'm rotating the opposite direction of where I normally would go to, because if I would rotate up here, normally I would rotate this direction, right? But as I switched, boom, I rotate that direction. You understand what's happening? So that way I can actually change whenever I want without having to stop the continuation of movement. Okay, let's try this together. We come up one side, bring it into the cup, other arm goes up, and slide it out. But instead of sliding it out completely, we rotate and bring it down the arm. It came down the same way it came up. You see that? Down, up, bring it in the cup. Now rotate and bring it down the same arm it came up of. Up, in the cup, rotate, and down. I know this is a little confusing. Up, from here we're going to go into the cup, bring it up there. Normally you want to wipe it out, right? But now you're going to turn like that. And then this one comes down. Okay, so think of moving up and down on the same arm. Okay, that is how you can make sure that you're at the right direction or at the right place. Let's go. We go up. We create that little cup, rotate, and we go down the same arm. Switch other side. Up, into the cup, rotate, down the same arm. Up, cup, rotate, down. Up, cup, rotate, down. That's crazy, right? So that's how I practice a little bit on having more options inside of the body. Now, I'm not going to go over all the different ones that we did before, because then we're going to have that whole class again. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I can implement these, let's say, body traces, these right here, and I can implement the ones that we do up top, the shoulder to shoulder traces. You remember? So I have a shoulder to shoulder, I have a shoulder to shoulder, for instance, and then I can bring it down the body, boom, and come down there. You see that? Let me just give you that transition so that it does make sense for you guys. Hope my mic is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a shoulder to shoulder, if we remember how that works. Yeah? Okay, this is going to be easy. Shoulder to shoulder, we go, boom, over the shoulder like that, or sorry, over the elbow to the other shoulder like that. What we're going to do now is we're going to trace it down and let this hand come down. You see that? Like so. Okay? So, boom, boom. Yeah? We already did this actually, but now we're going to make sure, or we're going to try to connect the dots together. Okay? So, bang, bang. From there, we're going to bring it in right here. So we make a cup, but now instead of here, it's on the other side. And we're going to rotate to finish off on the same side. So that's 1. That's 2. Bring it in. 3. It comes back up. Rotate and down. Okay? One more time. Boom. That's 1. Bring it down the arm. Go into the cup. Bring it up and rotate. And there we go. You see that? So if I do that quicker, beautiful. You see, so this way you can connect your traces in different ways, right? By using what we have here on the body, okay? Now the goal for this, or the reason why we are doing these, is because I want you to get used to tracing with both hands at the same time. Mainly, we have been practicing single-handed traces. Everything was single-handed, right? Now what I want you to try is play around with both hands. Just feel for it, okay? Let them go up the body and down the body so that you can feel what it is like to trace with both hands. Oh, there goes my microphone, right? So for instance, let's say we're gonna do a trace alongside of the body like we did normally with one hand, but now we're gonna do it with two. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down the body, the sides of the legs, go in, we cross the hands, we come back up the body, and over the head. There you go. Keep going. Get the feel for it. It just gives you more options, guys. That's the goal, to give you more openness. There's more to do, more room for whatever you want it to be. It is not singular. It's not one single thing, one single technique. It is very free. Okay, good. Other side. So both arms are going in the opposite direction. See, before the cross was created down here, now the cross is created up here. Okay, let's go. Or they cross over up there. And back up, back down. Nice. Okay, good job. Now, of course, you can also do that with one arm, but that is with one arm, focused on one leg. That's what I mean, focused on one place, right? So I can take both my hands and bring them, for instance, here. You see that? Now, for instance, what can happen is if I would do that, it would become very complicated. So I'm not going to explain it too much. I just want you to focus on two hands. That's it. But let's say if I would go down here, right? And then I cross them right here. Now this one, I cannot bring it up to my head and continue, but I can bring it down to my other arm. You see that? And then from there, ta-da, now both hands could go in the same direction, or I could bring this one up right here on my arm and continue the journey by itself. You see that? So that is the dopeness of it. There's just so many different options, so many nuances in how you can do it and how you can find different ways to play around with that. So what I want to ask from you guys is very simple for now. Very, very simple. I want you to play around with just using two arms and moving around with that. That is all there is to it. Okay, so just take a song for yourself, take a moment for yourself, and just move around using two hands on the body and tracing in whatever way you can. Don't focus too much on this exercise, okay? That was just to get the feel for it. You can use it, but I want you to mainly really explore, meaning you want to try to find new things instead of focusing too much on what I told you, okay? Exploration in freestyle is probably one of the most important things. Through exploring, we find new paths, we find new ways, we find ourselves, right? The technique is only the technique. The movement is only the movement. But the exploration of how you can use that movement and technique, that is where you find your way of doing it, your speech, your whatever. This is where you find it, okay? So make sure that even when you freestyle, you don't go and freestyle and then, okay, let's see, I got this right here. No, use it, take your time, you know, manipulate it, find different ways to do it. You see that? If you just play around with it and let it go by itself, at a certain point you'll find something new that you can do, okay? Take a moment for yourself, have some fun, and then come back here. Okay, so now that we have done that, it is time to continue this journey of traces together. First, before we actually get into some other techniques, so this was one of them, right? Double-handed traces. There's some more options. Before we get into that, I want you to become aware of one thing, and that is your energy when you trace. Now, when we create a trace, it's often the case that because we are so used to just moving around the body with the hand, that we forget to actually implement either emotion, expression, and texture into those traces, you know? And that texture is just going to give it a completely different world. It becomes a completely different entity on its own, right? And so what I want you to try to play around with and focus on with me is not only just tracing and outlining the body, but also understanding that I can do it fast. I can have a certain rhythm. See, with it. I can do it slow and move the body around. You see what I'm saying? So they can have different properties, the traces. And with those different properties, the story of the trace becomes very, very different. You see? So how we're going to work on that is this. I'm going to say fast, and I want you to trace fast. I'm going to say slow, I want you to trace slow. And then later we're going to implement direction into it as well, so that we can really build that journey and have fun. Okay? Cool. So, and I'm probably going to say, yeah, what do I call this? Strobe. It's not a popping strobe, but strobe, because with a strobe it keeps stopping. Pop, 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 pop. Just to create that control of your traces. Yeah? Let's go. So, slow. Take your time. So we're outlining the body again the same way we normally do to warm up, okay? And as we are going slow, I'm going to talk to you. Now what I want you to try to do, guys, here we go, is I want you to try and change where you are standing. Change your position as we are doing them slow. Okay, so for instance, I'm gonna come forward right here. Okay, and keep moving, keep going, okay? And keep changing your position to a degree that is comfortable for you, where you are able to still control what is happening and control the tempo as well as the direction of the trace. You see that? Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna switch if you're there already. And again, we're gonna come down and just play around with also your direction. Okay, or your position, actually, that's what I meant. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. Just find your own idea of what is possible. You see that? So here I'm taking my time, and my body has the time to explore. Other side, we switch and do it again. Now, continue to move slow, but continue to move your body around. Search for options, change it, bring it into different places, different directions. Yeah, guide it, see what you can do. Switch, switch. You can change your hand, how it's moving. You can change your leg, where it is at. Okay, good. Switch, now we're gonna move fast. Okay, so I'm not gonna focus on how we are moving our body yet, because that's a lot when it comes to fast. I just first want you to get the feel for it, okay? You don't have to do it exactly the same tempo as I do. Don't worry about it too much. Let's go for it. 5, 6, 7, 8, and fast. Do it 2 times. Boom. Do it 3 times. Switch. Take your time. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there we go. Switch. Never stop touching. So let's do the upper body slow and the lower body fast. 6, 7, 8. It's your own tempo, so if we are a little different in timing, don't worry about it. You understand the exercise. And here we go. Oh, I messed up there. You see that? And fast, okay. Oopsie. Slow it down. I'm just playing around myself, changing the path. Yeah, and time to switch. Now eventually you can switch in whatever way you want. I'm doing the normal one to make sure that we all know what's happening. But eventually if you want to switch differently, that's fine for me too. Okay. Mm-hmm. Good. So now what I want you to try to do is take a moment to play around with your tempo, okay? Play a song for yourself and really play with how fast you can even think about how small or how big. You use your traces, okay? Do that for yourself, play around with that, and yeah, afterwards come back here and we are going to continue. Let's go. Okay, so you probably already did it, but now it is time to bring these things together. I took the strobe out because honestly, it's just, it's not mandatory. It is something that you understand. You can stop wherever you want to, right? That's okay. You understand that idea of stopping. Now, of course, if you want, make sure that you look back at the other class as well, because I'm not going too much over the things that we did in that class, which is, for instance, the manipulation of the body as we move around, right? Which can do a lot for your traces as well. So if you want to continue moving in traces and really continue to grow inside of it, or I guess explore it more, make sure that you also take that class again, so that this is a good add-on to it, okay? Because of course one class and one time doing it in the 30 days of dance where you did so many things is not going to be enough to be able to really build upon it. You need to do it a little bit more often, basically, or a lot more often. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to trace, but we are really going to play around with how we move over the body. So instead of just moving alongside of the body, outlining it, because of how we practiced moving, see, over the body like such, we can now also cross over to other directions. We can come down straight, come here. You know, we can use both arms. You see that? There's so many different options now that we have because of these traces, or because of the double-handed traces, that it becomes really interesting to play around with and figure out how you can move from there, okay? So, it's going to be a lot for me to explain everything at the same time with you guys. So please, for yourself, take a moment to change your tempos, use both hands or single-handed traces, and play around with where you are directed towards, right? So if I would do it slowly to give you a little example of what it could look like, let's say I'm here, I can trace down the body. I'm now doing double-handed traces. See, one over my leg, one over my head. I bring this one to the other side. Boom. I come forward. I connect right here. See, I intercept my trace. I bring it in. Boom. Come down with it. Switch to the other side. I'm now doing a double. You see that? This one came in. Or came up actually, and this one came down. See, that's a double right there. Boom. See that? So if you would want to have more of an advanced double and you have no clue where to start, this is a good option for you, okay? If I'm here, I come up the foot to the knee. This one comes down on the side of that leg. I create that cup again, you could say. This one goes over the arm then and continues there. But normally we go here, now it continues over the arm. This one goes down the leg, and then from here it would continue its path over the leg if I wanted to, right? And then this one, let's see what I can do with that one. I can bring it, just like with the shoulder to shoulder, one of them was this one right here. You see that? Right? Now I'm using it in a double trace or a double-handed trace. And I bring it over the head, and this one, whoop, down the leg. And then, funny enough, they kind of meet each other in the middle again, which is really, really dope. Try it with me again. Come down, come over, boom, over the head, down the leg. So just to help you a little bit more, what I'm doing here is this one goes down my foot, right, underneath the sole of my foot. At the same time, I dip into that loop that we have created right here, right? So at the same time, I'm doing this, boom, boom, oh, boom, 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 boom. And then I trace this alongside of the body. The other one is still on the other side of the leg, and we cross paths, okay? Try it out with me one more time, and then we're gonna continue. This was not what I wanted to do, but I was already there, and I showed you, so I'm like, okay. As always, I want to make sure that if I do something interesting, I want to show you how I do it instead of just saying like, you know, you could do this, bye. No, I want to show you how I did it so that you have an idea, okay? I come in, or I'm down the leg, the foot, boom, I bring it up, bring the other one in, go over the head at the same time, go under the foot, and bring it across side of the body. Nice, right? So that's how you can find and play around with double-handed and single-handed traces. Take a moment for yourself, play around with it. It's an open field, and it's really, really fun to do. So go ahead and come back here, because then we're actually going to talk about different variations and options that we can have when it comes to traces. Let's go. Okay, time. It is time. I want to show you 3 different options, or 3 different, you could say, focuses or parts that you can focus on in your tracing to create more story, more movement, more options. Number 1 is the traces where we use our arms and our head. Everyone knows this basic trace, right? Everyone knows that. Everyone saw it in any, I don't know, dance movie, funny dance movie. So I used to do this and practice this to understand how to trace with my head. But then eventually I figured out a lot of different ways you can trace with your head. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a little, you could say, drill, a few options on how to get familiar with it, but then the freestyle part itself is very open, and basically it's all up to you on how you create the path of your traces, okay? So the trace path that I want to do with you guys is we're gonna either do a stairs, or we are going to do a zigzag, okay? So for the stairs, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start at the top of our hand, right here. We're gonna go down, boom, into the, what is this called? It's not armpit, that's here. What is this part called? I don't even know anymore. Please tell me in the comments what that part is called. I'm messing up right now. Other side of the elbow, I'll just take that. Boom, we're gonna come there. From there, we're gonna bring this straight. So we went down, bring it straight, or horizontal, that's better, horizontal, boom, and we trace out again. From there, we bring it down this time into a vertical line, and go down again. Boom, horizontal, bang. So what you get is you get this movement. Boom, boom, boom. See that? A little stairs. Now, we just started it like this, but now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our elbow up. And we're gonna start into our elbow, come to this side, vertical, come down, horizontal, and finish it. Then after that, we're gonna go back, it comes back up, boom, so that you can continue doing that over and over again. Boom, 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 and boom, boom, boom. See that? Boom, 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 bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. So how you do it is definitely up to you, but make sure that you touch something and that you don't just outline what is happening. Actually touch. I often use my chin, because if I use my head, it's possible to use your head, it's okay. But for some reason, I just like using my chin a little bit more. It gives me more, I can see more if I do that, right? If I'm here and I can feel what is happening. I'm more in control, basically. Other side, so we're gonna start with the elbow up, go into the elbow, come to the hand, bring the hand down, back to the elbow, bring it here. I often bring it to my shoulder so that I can connect it for any other dance movement that I want to do after. For instance, maybe I don't want to continue with the head. Maybe I want to start using the shoulder to shoulder after this, right? So I would have horizontal, vertical, and then shoulder to shoulder. See that? So that's how I could connect the dots, for instance. For now, we're gonna go here, down, side, and back, up, side, and boom, 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 and doop, and doop, and ta, and ta. Nice, right? Can we do that on both sides? I'm very curious. Boom, down, other side, up, there. Yeah, see that? Dope. So you can connect it in a different way as well, where you will have the same sequence going down the stairs, coming up the stairs on the other side, and going down again. So looks like this. We have one arm in front of us, one arm above it, right? Our hands are kind of hovering above each other so that when I have this fixed point right here and I come down, it locks in. Bam, right there, okay? Take the head, trace the horizontal line, bam, lock it in, come down, bam, switch, boom, into the other elbow, bring it up, boom, let him go, horizontal line, bang, and down, and down, and up, and up, and go back, down, down, and boom, switch, up, boom, 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 right? So that is a small option on how I can use the head. There is more, but it's more so about understanding how we can play around with the head. So for instance, I often don't use the stairs. I often create that line right there. So I'm taking that horizontal and then the vertical at the same time, but I don't let it come up by itself. I kind of rotate into it so that it's more organic for me. Boom, boom. It's the exact same movement, but now I rotate up right here. So I'm using my head and I kind of come back onto the shoulder. See that? And then come up. Boom, boom, right? Many options from there. My head is like, oh snap, don't say too much. If you're gonna say too much, it's gonna be a complete mess. So that is a stairs. After a stairs, we have our, our zigzags. So the zigzag is kind of the same idea, but now we're gonna have a diagonal line. So we're gonna start in the elbow again. We're gonna come down, boom, and we're going to change the direction of our diagonal line to be able to go down again. Boom, change it, go down again, change it, go down again, change it, go down again. You can do it as deep, as far as you want to, of course, or as little of a change in where you're standing or level as you want to. You're gonna go back up, boom, 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 down, bang, switch, boom, switch, boom, switch, boom, up, boom, switch, boom, switch, switch, boom. Okay. Other hand, down, boom, bring the elbow down, come back down, hand down or arm down, come back down, elbow down, back up, boom, elbow up, hand up, elbow up, back down, boom, elbow, hand, elbow. Actually, that's where it should have stopped. Elbow, boom, and up, boom, elbow, boom, hand, boom, elbow, bam, right? So if you do this fast, I often do 2 instead of like 5 or 3. Where I don't do too much of that. It's just a quick boom. See that? A quick switch to then continue another type of movement after that, right? So most of the times when it comes to all these paths, I don't want to stick into it too long. It's just for practice. because for me, my dance loses, yeah, dynamics when I do that. If I'm gonna continue all the way down, like at a certain point, it's like, okay, it's clear. But if I can do a quick switch, boom, boom, and then switch to something else, that's where to me it stays very interesting, So if I'm gonna take, let's say we're taking 3 of them, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cross my legs so that I can bend more proper. This is really my style, you can see that already. And we're gonna go down, switch, bring it down, and we're gonna do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. From there, let's say we trace out, trace up, and bring it up from there, just to make sure that we finish it off. What did I just do? We went 1, 1, 2, 3. We're down here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our other hand, bring it over the head, shoulder to shoulder, right? And then as it comes down the side of the body, I neutralize and come back up, okay? Over the head, neutralize. Okay, let's try it again, slowly. 6, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, make sense? Let's do it again. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So that is how you connect the dots. We could do it on the other side as well, but it is very clear. So we have our stairs and we have our zigzags. Now, besides that, so this is a single-handed movement where we just play around with being able to trace with the head over the arms to create some more options on how we trace and where the trace is focused on, because now the tracer is not the hand, the tracer is the head. Besides that, it's also possible to create a certain, you could say, pattern and have the head follow along with that pattern, which is really, really fun, and there's a lot of different options. So for instance, let's say if I would do this right here, right? What I can do is I can trace down and trace to the side. It's very simple. Boom, boom, okay? Boom, boom. From there, I can bring this up, and now I'm tracing the arm instead of the head. Boom, side, up. Again. Down, side. I'm doing it I'm cheating right now, but just to show you. Side, up. What we can do from there is switch, boom, boom, and then come to the other side. So we're going to bring it down. So we trace the hand, then the head, and bring the head up. So now we're at the opposite direction of where we started. What the heck just happened, Kev? Start at this side, left side for you guys, right side for me. We're gonna go down, boom. We're gonna trace over that other arm, that horizontal, bring it up. So we now trace our hand. We switch to the other side, trace our hand down, head and head up. 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or actually, you could even do, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So take 2 counts for that switch. Okay? 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. Super nice. Last one. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, so here I'm using both arms and both arms in a certain pattern to create that trace with my head and have a certain path, which is really, really fun, right? So that is an option. I'm not going to do too much of different options. For instance, this could also be one, a little X. So I could start on this side, come up to here, trace up, and outline. You see that? Outline the X. So I think from here you understand that you can create any figure that you want to. See? And play around with that, right? And so the more ideas you think of, the more fun it becomes. You see? So that is how double-handed traces work. That is how double-handed traces, there's a lot, or double-handed, sorry. That's how head to arm traces work, not double-handed, sorry. Head to arm traces. And yeah, it's very open. There's a lot of different options. We're now doing everything front-faced, but you can already understand that you can also focus on moving to the back. You can use just your hand as a part of the trace. There's so many different ways you could go about these double-headed, these head and double-handed traces, because it's actually double arms and the head that we were doing together. That's why I'm confusing the two, basically. Yeah, so that is one option for you guys. I would definitely challenge you to try and create your own pattern. Okay, so I would say there is two parts to this exercise, two parts to these traces. Part number one is the path. Part number two is the manipulation of the path. So let's say if I'm here, I can bring it up with my head and go elsewhere. And that is kind of what we were doing when we were doing this one right here. And I brought it up, switched, right? That was a manipulation of where the path was at and how the path was moving, or how I was changing where it was, basically, to make it more interesting. And you can always do this besides just changing the path with my arm. You see that? I can also change the path with my head. Okay, so path and manipulation, those are the two things that I want you to try to put together, play around with, see where you can go. Right now we're standing up, but there's a lot of different variations, a lot of different ways you can play around with this idea. So have some fun, try it out for yourself, and then come back here for the next one. So we just did the connection with the head and the arms. Now we're gonna do the same thing. It's actually the same idea, but it's gonna be based on the knees and the arms, okay? So we're gonna create those paths and that manipulation with the knee instead of with the head, okay? So we're gonna start with, again, a stairs, because you can do the same thing with the knee. So how it's gonna work is, now my knee is going to trace alongside of a body part. Do you see that right here? Oh, don't fall, Kev. Just get familiar with that for a second. Feel that out with me, you guys. I want you to feel it. Actually, there's a whole path that we can do that is a good way of creating muscle memory and really getting the feel for it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna outline the side. We're gonna come in, go over the chest, the other side, and then outline again the outer side of our arm with our knee. How does that work, Kev? We're starting here. So, oh, I need new shoes. Yeah, Kev, blame the shoes. We're gonna come down, boom, come back up, over the chest. Now you can cheat here, because honestly, you can imagine that whole chest part. If you really wanna do it, you have to be fast. Otherwise, it's really hard to get your chest and your knee together. So it's okay if it's a little bit cheated. We go down and up the other side, okay? Down, up, switch, down, up, and boom. Boom, switch, boom, boom. Good job, boom. Boom, switch, boom, boom. Other leg, 5, 6, 7, and down. Up, switch, down, up, and down. Up, switch, down, up, and down. Up, switch, down, up. Nice. See, so this is already an amazing path. It already looks good by itself. Another good open-handed path that you could think of is not having to outline the outsides, but coming in from one side in a diagonal line and then to the other side. So you could again see it as the straight line of the stairs and the diagonal lines of the diagonal zigzags. There we go. But now it's very open. So if I'm here, what I can do is I can trace to the other side. You see that? Over my chest, boom, to the other side. right there. Other leg. Dope, really, really nice, okay? So you can get the feel for that. You already notice that this has a completely different feel, right, than just hand traces, because now I can take my hand, trace down, you see that? And use the knee to continue the trace. So the tracer changes. Now the tracer is my hand, I come down. Now the tracer becomes my knee, and my arms become the path. And then from there you can continue on and on and on to the break of dawn. So let me see. Back to what I was actually doing. So we have that one, and then we have the stairs that I actually wanted to get into, but then I did a more open one. But it's good. We have the open one, narrow it down to the stairs. So the stairs, what it's gonna look like is we're gonna basically create a diagonal or a horizontal line. Boom. And from there, we're gonna rotate it and bring it down. You see that? So, boom, down. Again, horizontal, diagonal. Boom, down. And as you can guess, I can rotate it back up and create a horizontal again and then continue. So what we get is horizontal, rotate it down, straight, not diagonal, but vertical, rotate it back up, horizontal. Now this is a bit more difficult, so honestly, I don't practice it like this. I'm not gonna go down the stairs. It is just about getting the feel of a straight line, or a horizontal line, and a diagonal. Kev, sorry guys, it's really late, so I keep messing up my words. Please bear with me when it comes to this. Hopefully the information is still very clear. I think it is. So we're just going to continue. Even if I keep on making mistakes, focus on the exercise and not so much on my small mistakes today, please. Okay? So horizontal, vertical. Horizontal line, we bring it down, boom, vertical line. What we're going to do is we're not going to move down. We're going to bring the leg back up so that we can create another horizontal line. Bang, down, bring it down that vertical line, bang, horizontal. Rotate, vertical, rotate, horizontal. So you get this movement right there. Other side, boom. So we're gonna come back, you could say, over that knee. And we're gonna, as we get to the elbow, we are going to rotate it down and back up. From there, we rotate it back up to the horizontal line. Boom. Bring that elbow towards that knee and come down. Alongside of it and horizontal. Okay? Boom, 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 bang. So that's how you practice the stairs in this one. You could do, of course, a level change as well. But that is a whole different story, and honestly not what we should be focusing on at this point. It's more about focusing on the patterns, the paths that we can take with the body, as opposed to doing, you could say, a blow up, because honestly, being able to switch like that, that's already a move. That's a blow up right there, which is dope. Don't use it, it's mine. I'm kidding. I don't even use it. So the diagonal one that we're gonna do, right? The little diagonal version of it is going to actually go down because there's no other option for that one. So what's going to happen is we're going to trace over and we're going to switch, again, just like with the head, either the arm or from the elbow, okay? So we're going to move down, switch the elbow, move down, switch the hand, and down. You see that? So start higher so that you have more options. I normally actually go down for this one, but for now when I'm explaining it, I don't want you to do that the whole freaking time until you feel comfortable, and then you can try it out for yourself. We're gonna start high, down, elbow, down, hand, down. Nice. 7, 8, down, elbow, down, hand, down, 6, 7, 8, and down, elbow, down, hands, down. So if I would actually go for it and do it in the way I normally would do it, I would actually, see that? Move all the way down to really create that beautiful option, and then from there my groundwork would start. But don't worry, I'm not asking that from you. You can try it out if you want to, of course, but please be careful with your knees, okay? Other side, we start with the elbow, we come down, elbow shoots down, trace again, hand shoots down. So I'm close to my knee when I do that, okay? After I'm here, I'm close to the knee so they connect, and I can actually, if I would want to, from there, boom, continue the trace to something else, right? Or I could come down and then use this to create a place or a fixed point, right? A sticky hand, basically. Boom, if I would want to. So there's a lot of different options and a lot of different ways you can connect the dots. And that is the fun of it, learning to connect those dots together so that it can just keep on going over and over, or continuously into whatever you want it to be. It's really nice. So again, 6, 7, 8, down, boom, down, boom, down, 6, 7, 8, down, bang, down, bang, down, 6, 7, 8, boom, boom, boom. Same for this one. In the end, you want to have it fast, and it, see, moves down quicker. But take your time with that one, because it is a lot of strength for the, it takes a lot of strength of the thighs, but also is very, has a lot of force, or creates a lot of force and pressure on those knees. So please take your time with that. For now, it's just mainly about the technique. Okay, so that is some options on how we can use the knees, you see, and you can continue to play around with different versions of that, you know. Now, the other one that we talked about, which we did up, was creating a path and follow along with that path, right? We can do the same thing with the knees as well. It's a little bit more difficult. There's less options, but nevertheless, it's still really, really fun to explore. So how it works is like this. Let's say we're going to create the same pattern that we did up here, but then down here. I believe we can actually create the whole same pattern, which is really, really dope. So we start here, right? We come in, come to the hand. Let's see if it's possible. And now we're gonna, just like here, let's see, boom, boom. Oh, okay. In the other one, we started with the hand. We came up, and then what did we do afterwards? Brought it up. Let's see, we're just gonna try it out. Let's see if it's possible, okay? Up, horizontal. We're gonna bring that hand down. No, it's not completely possible, because here you have to switch, come back up and go in. It's possible, but honestly, I don't like the switch too much. So we're gonna play around with it and change the pattern just a little bit to something that to me works a little bit better, okay? Meaning we're gonna start at the elbow, trace down to the hand. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect these two together, kind of like a sticky hand, but we manipulate. We trace back over, you can already guess it, bring it down, so we stick to the knee with the other hand and bring it back up like that, okay? So what we get is one side, we go down that 90 degrees, right? 90 degrees, we switch and come back up. Boom, 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 boom. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. That takes a lot of stress on the other leg for standing and balancing on one leg, but it's a good exercise nonetheless, right? So other side, we're gonna start, of course, again at the elbow. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, in, trace, down, and 7, 8, switch, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what do I notice already? You probably noticed it too. It was easier for me to stand on this one Then on this one, I wasn't struggling on this one at all. Why? Because I am right-handed, so I'm also right with my legs, so that one felt a lot more comfortable and more stable. And so I am learning, just like you guys, that I have to practice certain things a little bit more to have a little bit more control over my body in these kind of exercises as well. We are learning together. Cool, so that is an option that we can have. Now, of course, as you guessed, you can change the pattern of what your hands, what your arms are doing a lot as well. There's a lot of different options. You know, we can, for instance, create this little more of a zigzag as opposed to straight lines, and we can zigzag down there. You see that? Boom, 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 boom. From there, let's have some fun. Bang. We're going to do the same thing we did, but it's now zigzag. Boom, boom, shh, boom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this one out and trace all the way down. Ooh, okay. So zigzag, I come over it, I bring it in, I kind of slide this one down here, so to create a very long line, a diagonal line, and then go all the way over that line, okay? We start here, boom, boom, manipulate it, bring it up. This one comes down and we slide all the way down. From here, there is definitely a lot of different options that you can take, a lot of different things that you can do. The other side, so let's see. Switch it, there we go, okay. Boom, come down, bring it up, slide it out, and ooh, come all the way down. Again, normally I would personally move all the way down with that one. But now maybe we raise it up a little bit higher so that we can stand more control and do it a little bit with a little bit more control in the coming down part, because it's hard to continuously having to bend that knee so far, okay? Up there, bang, boom, boom, connect, and see, it already felt, for me at least, it felt a lot easier this way. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then whatever, 7, 8, whatever comes after that, okay? Little fun one. This is a very personal one. This is actually a one of my personal signature moves back in the time, as if I'm old, but when I was still using it a lot. It's going to work like this. We are going to create our zigzag, but we're going to use the arms in the same way we just did, where they are slided, where we slide them out and the elbows connect, okay? So what's going to happen is this. We're going to come here. We're going to bring one leg up. Boom. We're going to trace it down. Then you're going to use this knee to push that little trace or slide to the other side so that we can move down again. Boom. Then we bring it up and back down. And we can continue to do that over and over again. Now, I personally move down with that, so I'm going right there. Oh, probably better with my other leg. Let's try it out. Oh, this. Whoa, that is so much better. That's crazy. I actually didn't know that. I did not know that I had so much more control in this leg. Wow. Slowly, how does it work? I'm gonna do it on my bad one because I need to train it. I need to practice it, and I'll just do it with you guys. So we come down, push up, boom. So we change the direction, slide down to the other side again. Push up, slide down, push up, slide down. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. So that is a way of being creative. And of course, you can continue to play around with the different options that you have inside of that and eventually bring it all together. Take a moment for yourself, guys, and now bring these or take these different options in the knee section, not the double-handed section, the knee section, and try to play around with the different options. Create your paths, manipulate it, take your time. If you need to, and it becomes really difficult to do this while standing, even though it's important to train it and really train also your balance as well as, of course, your strength. If you get lost and it's like, okay, I can't train anymore, sit down. Do the same thing, but practice it, you see that? Sitting down, and try to see whatever you can create
while sitting down, instead of having to always do it standing up. It's the same thing, however, now more focused on just the arm and the legs instead of also the balance, which is, of course, a factor that can make it really difficult to focus on the creativity as well as the technique. Okay, so have fun with that, search, and after that, as always, come back here. Okay, you guys, so that is it for this class. I hope you had fun, hope you learned something new. It is definitely a little complicated, right? But it is definitely also a lot of fun to explore different ways of using your traces. So what did we learn today? We learned to not only use the trace with the arms, but change the tracer. See that? You change. We changed the tracer. That's what we learned today. Besides that, we worked a little bit on getting more used to using both hands and as well as changing the tempos a little bit to get warmed up, and I guess let this trace thing become a lot more natural, because this stuff is definitely not natural. You know, that is practiced. But something like this feels more natural, so then as I have this, it's easier to learn to implement. You see that? Those things into it. Yeah, so that is what we did today. If you have any questions, of course, always ask. Please be careful. Make sure that you really take your time for these things. Even though we are standing still a lot, it's easy to mess up and make a mistake by going down, for instance, and doing it in the wrong way. So make sure that you do what you can and just get good and used to that. Okay, and from there, you build up step by step. Don't jump into it too deeply, because I just don't want you to get injured for no reason. I want you to grow gradually as opposed to getting lost in the sauce, okay? Hope it was fun. I had fun. I learned a lot of new things about myself while teaching you guys. I stuttered a lot, but eventually we got the job done, and that is what it's all about. So I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. As always, I love to hear your feedback, love to hear what you'd like, maybe things that I could do different or that I could do more of. Just let me know, because I am here for you guys, and I'm here to hopefully help you guys achieve your goals, have a lot of fun, get us together through these freaking times with Rona and whatever, and make sure that we can always have a smile on our face and say we did something valuable with 2020, because in the end, that is what it's all about, to be happy with what we did ourselves. Life continues, and with that, dance continues as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.